can you go to see a buffet spread that's over 200 feet long?
Shady Maple.
What restaurant serves over 1 million customers each year?
Shady Maple.
Smorgasbord.
Who serves over 800 pounds of bacon every Saturday?
Shady Maple.
Shady Maple.
And which place serves over 99,000 free birthday meals every year? Okay, I think you catch my drift, but here's the really cool thing about Shady Maple. It started as a simple roadside stand back in 1962, and now it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, smorgasbords in the entire country. FYI, there are timestamps below in the description for your convenience. We will get into their really cool history a little bit later, but for now, welcome to today's video all about Shady Maple, located in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Okay, so let's just get started. I'm going to first show you the map of where you can find Shady Maple. It's pretty much north-central Lancaster County. Here's a little closer view of the map. It's kind of near 322 and 23, so that kind of gives you an orientation as to where to find this place. During this video, I'm going to take you on a little tour around the outside of the property and then on the inside, just so you have a good view of what to expect when you come here, and then just for fun if you've been here and you love seeing this place. And then I'm going to give you lots of information about pricing, hours, days, specials, discounts, all that stuff, and then my suggestions and tips and tricks about when you go here. And then lastly, we're going to wrap up with a little bit of history. So when you pull up into Shady Maple, make sure you're looking for the sign that says Shady Maple Smorgasbord and go under and park near that area, because there is a banquet hall area, then there's a smorgasbord area, then there's a gift shop area down below, which we'll get to later. Just make sure you're kind of parked across from that smorgasbord sign so you have less of a walk to get into the restaurant. If you look over here to the right, there is horse and buggy parking, so I had to point this out to you because you don't see this everywhere in the country, but you do see it in Lancaster. So this is actually a pretty long stretch of it, and there's also evidence that there was a horse and buggy there that day, so check that out when you come. It's just fun to see. And then you keep heading straight past the buggy parking to your right, you're going to head right towards the big farm market / grocery store. So this is the original part of the business, and it started more as a stand than the grocery store, and they added food later. But it's a very large grocery store. It's actually bigger than the Smorgasbord. So the farm market / grocery store is 130,000 square feet. So it's a very large store, and the Smorgasbord is actually 110,000 square feet, which is still very large, but you know, the fact that the grocery store is bigger than the Smorgasbord kind of lends itself towards their roots being in the market. Another fun fact is that this grocery store is now 51 years old. It had the 50th anniversary during 2020. Unfortunately, that's really bad timing, but still, it's a great accomplishment, and it started as the store in 1970, and there's been many expansions and additions and remodels since. Okay, so now we're coming upon the gift shop area. So the gift shop is underneath the restaurant, and in 2005, there was a remodel to the restaurant, and they expanded the gift shop, so now it is 44,000 square feet of a gift shop. So it's quite a sight to see. We're going to walk through it later, this part of this video, but I just want to give you that little fact about when it was remodeled and how big it is. So up there to the right is the big carport area where they had the pickup and drop off for the restaurant. So it's very easy access. Lots of cars can fit through there. Some can park, some can drive through. Here is their very large lobby. They have now designated doors on the left for the exit and on the right over there for the entrance. And then in between those is the stairs that go down to the gift shop. They do have a pay first policy here, so you do pay these registers first, and then you are seated after that, and then you eat all you want. So here's an example of this amazing sculpture / artwork that's made of wood. It's a 3D piece of art made of wood, and they are actually from local Amish twins, Aaron and Abner Zook. And the original owner of Shady Maple, Marvin Weaver, has bought over 25 pieces of these, and you'll see them throughout the restaurant. It's just really amazing, spectacular art. And then right between this sculpture and the exit doors are the bathrooms, very large, spacious bathrooms. I'll be giving you some more helpful tips and tricks and info in a minute. I just want to show you some of this food here and point out some of my favorites. If you don't know what that round meatball looking thing is, it's actually a ham ball, so it's made of pork and ground up smoked ham. It's a very local favorite around here. And then fried chicken's really good too here. And on each end of the very large smorgasbord area, there are drink stations. So you do serve yourself your own drinks and refill them as much as you want. So here you see some good, well, they have taquitos, but they also have chicken and beef gravy, both very good. And mashed potatoes, good stuff too. Chicken fingers, the gravy here is really good. I want to point that out. And here you have their slow roasted roast beef, which they're pretty famous for. That's one of their better dishes, I would say. Okay, right next to the beef is bread stuffing, or bread filling, depending on where you're from in Pennsylvania, but it's really good here. And then right above that is actually sauerkraut, and I believe pork was in there too. So pork and sauerkraut mashed potatoes are actually what people eat for New Year's Day around here. Their veggies are always done really well here. So I want to point out that red sauce up there, and next to the macaroni and cheese are stewed tomatoes, and that is a family favorite of ours. Yes, in this part of the country, you put stewed tomatoes on your homemade macaroni and cheese. It is delicious. It's probably one of my favorite meals still to this day. I do want to point out that they have a couple different kinds of corn here. They have just really good regular corn, and they usually have a creamed corn. They also have a dried corn. So dried corn is original kind of dish, and it's really good here. I know this is not the best filming. It was actually really crowded this day. It was a Monday, so I wouldn't suggest going on a Monday. It's usually really crowded on Mondays. So it's not the best coverage I could get for the food, but you're getting the general picture of what's here. But I will say their veggies and their salad area is always very fresh with lots of good stuff, including red beet eggs, which are another thing that we love in Pennsylvania. So we're heading to the other half of the buffet. We start on one end and we're working our way to the other. Most of the time, each half is very similar in what they offer, including their salads, which are in the middle. But there are differences. I'm going to try to point them out to you. Okay, so that corn right above there in the top left, that is dried corn, and that is something I would recommend trying. So here's an example of some of the differences. There was not buttered noodles on the other side, I don't believe. And the mac and cheese on the other side was only on the other side. So sometimes you have a few dishes that are on one side, not the other. So you need to go through the whole line to make sure you get everything. From this angle, you can kind of see more of the dining area. There's like one big room, another little side part of the big room, the back dining room, and there's a whole section along the wall where it's like more private rooms. They're not private, but they're more closed off. So there's a lot of seating, which is why they can fit 1,200 people here. The day we were there this past summer, they had 2 of their grills open and running. On this side, you have things like corn fritters, potato cakes, marinated chicken breast, hot dogs, and steak burgers. At this one, you can get things like kielbasa, smoked beef brisket, chicken livers, if you're in the mood for that, and then even like smorgy cheesesteaks. So these grill areas are the ways they produce different foods every night for dinner specials. This is where you pick up your specialty meats and seafood. So that's how they change it up every day. My parents are here showing us the very lovely bread bar. They have a lot of homemade bread here, as long as some cheeses and of course homemade butter. So it's kind of against the grill area, opposite the buffet. So just look for that when you're there. So here we are at the end. Both ends of the buffet have the dessert areas. They have tons of different kinds of pie here. I don't even know how many, at least probably 30. And they also have sugar-free options and gluten-free options, but they have like cobblers and apple dumplings as well. And they have like a make your own sundae area, which my kids love and they always do. So lots of fun dessert options. Of course, some of the classics here are shoe fly pie and then the apple dumplings and cobblers. That's a pretty popular one. But I will say I do love their banana pudding here. It's really good. That was one of my favorite things I had when I was here. And their apple dumplings and their cobblers were all very good. So this is a shot of their back dining room. Usually this is where we sit. We usually have 10 to 12 people with us. And the entire restaurant seats about 1,200 people. And they have a banquet hall as well separately somewhere else that seats about 800. Alright, next up, their pricing and hours. So Shady Maple is open Monday through Saturday and closed every Sunday. So that's the first thing you need to take note of. Secondly, they do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. Their breakfasts are 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., lunches are 10:45 to 3:15, and dinners are 4 to 8 p.m., with the Smorgasbord closing at 8:45, last seating is at 8 p.m. Their prices for breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday are the same every day. So breakfast is $11.99 and lunch is $15.99. You do get a senior discount that's 10% off, and a child discount is 50% off, ages 4 to 10. On Saturdays, you're going to spend a little more. The breakfast is $13.99 and the lunches are $22.99. So that's a big difference. That's my first tip to you. If you can go during the week because you're going to save money. Their dinners are a little more complicated, and that's only because they serve different items each evening, and so they vary the price depending on the items. For example, their most expensive night to go is Tuesday nights. That's because it's surf and turf night. You're going to get lots of seafood and lots of steak. So that's why it's actually their most expensive night, even more expensive than Saturday. That special surf and turf dinner on Tuesdays is $26.99. Their cheapest night is actually Thursday night, and that is a $20.99 dinner. Okay, to quickly wrap up the rest of the prices, Monday and Wednesday it is $21.99, Friday is $22.99, and then Saturday dinner is $24.99. This might seem like a lot of money, but honestly, for the type of food you're getting, usually some seafood and lots of steak and chicken and all that stuff, it's a pretty good deal. Okay, a few exceptions and then also some discounts I want to talk to you about. First of all, the pricing does not include certain holidays, so check their website if you're going to go during a holiday to see what the price will be for that day. They also have a great deal for your birthday. It's one free meal with one adult purchase. So you have to bring your ID, either license or birth certificate, even for your children. But it is a really good deal. And like I said, they serve over 99,000 free birthday meals a year. So it's a pretty popular place to go on your birthday. If your birthday falls on Sunday, they will honor it the very next day on Monday. And the same deal goes with holidays, just so you know. If they're closed for a holiday, then they will honor your birthday the very next day. Alright, so one of my favorite things about Shady Maple is their military discount. And this is every Wednesday, every single Wednesday. They get 25% off your meal purchase, whether that's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They also will give you a 10% off a gift shop purchase. So this is just so great. I love this about them. This is one of my favorite things about them because that's a really great discount. For those of you who are still with me, I want to show you the gift shop. It's just because it's extraordinarily big for a restaurant gift shop. We came in the downstairs outside entrance, so we kind of walked down through the parking lot and came in this way just so we can get some good footage of the entire thing. But most people come down through the stairs in the lobby. So just to the right of this entrance when you come in down here, there used to be a kitchenette here, and I used to love that because it was like a really quick way to get Shady Maple food in a little tiny diner setting. But they took it away, and I honestly don't know when that happened. I know it happened within the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure. But if you know, leave me a comment to let me know when that happened and why. I don't know if it was a COVID thing or if it was just a business decision. But anyway, so here we have a whole bunch of chocolates. These are locally made. I don't think they're Shady Maple chocolate. Ah yes, signage always helps. Yes, these are Asher candies, which I'm 99% sure is a local business. There's so much chocolate in Lancaster, it's hard to keep track sometimes. But they have all sorts of, this reminds me of the jam and jelly shop at Kitchen Kettle Village. There's all sorts of sauces and jams and even nuts and chips and all that stuff. It's like a little market area here. And then you get into the actual gift shop. So as you can see, the whole way down there is the end, and down there is where Z is. So you just keep walking. They have toys and they actually have a lot of stuff for kids here, which is fun. So be prepared if you're taking your kid down here that you'll probably have to buy something because there's so much stimulation and they're gonna want something. So if you don't want to buy something, don't bring your kids down here. Have a lot of stuff here to choose from for board games and puzzles and stuff. So a lot of family-friendly things. And they also have locally made wood pieces and furniture, as well as quilts, which we'll get to soon, and belts and all sorts of crafty things. And they also have a lot of sports things that are Pennsylvania themed as well. This is actually my favorite section, is the woodworking section, because it always smells really good. My great-grandpa and my grandpa and my dad are all woodworkers, so I've always grown up loving the smell of like sawdust and woodworking. I think it just smells so good. So they have all sorts of stuff here, all locally made, which I think is really cool. So it's another great example of how family oriented they are. They have a ton of stuff for kids here, like little rocking chairs and tables and all sorts of fun things for the kids. I just think that's really cool. And then of course they have cutting boards for the adults and kitchen people like me, people who love to cook. If you don't know, I don't actually live locally. I grew up in York, Pennsylvania, which is right next to Lancaster, but I live far enough away where when we drive, our van is full of all of our stuff and we can't fit like furniture to go back home. So I always think if I had a place near Lancaster or Pennsylvania where I could drive there, in a couple hours, I would have so much stuff from Lancaster as far as furniture is concerned. I love their furniture. Okay, so here's their quilt area, and I'm pretty sure this, maybe it hasn't, but I think it changed the last few years. They have like a whole section in the back just for the quilts, all Amish made. And most I think are local, and they are beautiful. And then I try to get some prices here for you to show you how much they cost. Usually they have a queen size for most of them, but it is just gorgeous quilt work. I'm always kind of like amazed. It just really is beautiful to look at. And they have all sorts of other things in this quilt area. They have placemats and purses and bags and eyeglass cases and frames and even baskets and all sorts of gifts here. Stuff for your house, decorative stuff. So there's a lot. Not just bed quilts. There's other kinds of quilts you hang on your wall. Yep, there's a lot of decorations here for your house. A lot of signage and just things you can hang up and make your house look so nice. And one thing I do like about this place is they have a lot of the yard flags that you hang in your yard. All sorts of ones, like for all different seasons. I really love that because there's always a good selection here. And they have even figurines and collectibles and really almost anything you can imagine they have here. Candles, everything. It's just jewelry. There's lots of stuff here. Okay, so how about a little history lesson? So I've told you that Marvin Weaver was the original owner of Shady Maple, helped start the whole thing. He married a woman named Miriam. So back in 1962, Miriam's parents were running a roadside stand under 2 maple trees. When Marvin married Miriam, they both took over the roadside stand and it started to grow. In 1970, they built the first actual grocery store. In 1980, a small lunch counter was added to the market. So this was the first kind of dine-in experience that was offered at Shady Maple. Their dine-in experience went so well that they opened what they called the fast food cafeteria in 1982, and this would seat about 100 people. And then in 1985, the actual Smorgasbord was born, so they built an actual new restaurant building that would seat 300 people. It was so popular that it soon was very common to have a 1 to 2 hour wait. Then in 2000, they built the current Shady Maple Smorgasbord building, the very, very big one that we have seen. In 2005, they added the banquet hall and the conference center, as well as expanding the gift shop, which I've talked about, to over 40,000 square feet. So this entire property, the big Smorgasbord building, has pretty much remained the same since 2005. And then probably one of my favorite sections is the t-shirt section, just because I like to see the kinds of slogans they come up with and the different styles. I've seen some cute ones over the years, but I still love this shirt, the where food is a destination. It's a great slogan for this place, so I do love it. And they have lots of Lancaster shirts as well. Another neat little story I want to tell you about real quick is that Marvin Weaver, the original owner who started this whole business back in 1970s, wrote a book about his experience about Shady Maple, and it's a really good story. It's a really good book. I read it years ago. It's called Under the Maple Trees, and I would highly suggest you get this book. It's just a really fun read about him and his family and the story of Shady Maple. And one of the cool things I remember about that is that he was a conscientious objector during the war and went to work in Colorado, which helped plant the roots for him running a business and working hard and all this stuff. It's a really neat connection. So I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you, but just go get the book and read it. It's just a really fun read. I'm not really much of a shopper, because this place overwhelms me a bit, but if I had something in mind or a certain person in mind, it'd be fun to come here and shop for them. Okay, so my takeaway from Shady Maple, and I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about this place, but I really like it here. I love their roots, I love their background, I love that they're very customer friendly. I love that they offer different prices at different times of day, just to be very friendly towards your wallet and to make things easier for you. I love the fact that they have so many birthday meals they give out every year. And they can accommodate from the smallest party to the largest party. It's just a neat experience. It's like, it really is a destination. Like, this food here is just a destination because it's unlike anywhere you've probably been to. In fact, if you've been somewhere bigger than this, please tell me because I would love to know about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking in there if you watched this entire video. You know I love Lancaster. You know I love the food here. And this is a really fun experience. So I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you enjoy your next food adventure.
Shady Maple.
Shady Maple.
What?
Shady Maple.
Shady.
Shady Maple.
That's the whole
Shady
point.
Maple.
Dan.
Shady Maple.
No, that's too far.
Shady Maple.